The first part of the film adaptation of Wicked was a massive success at the box office, earning praise from critics and becoming an unexpected darling during awards season. Fans have been buzzing ever since, especially with the decision to split the Tony Award-winning musical into 2 films. This split has given us plenty of time to speculate about what's coming in the highly anticipated sequel, Wicked for Good. For those who haven't read Gregory Maguire's book, Wicked: The Life and Times of the Wicked Witch of the West, the first film introduced us to Nessarose Throp, the sweet and tragic younger sister of Elphaba, who later becomes the infamous Wicked Witch of the East in The Wizard of Oz. At the end of the first Wicked movie, we see Elphaba, brilliantly portrayed by Cynthia Erivo, realizing the true nature of the wizard and Madame Morrible. Her powerful performance in defying gravity marks her transformation from a misunderstood outcast to a formidable figure in Oz. However, while Elphaba's journey is well documented, Nessarose's path to becoming the Wicked Witch of the East remains a deeply tragic one, and a deleted scene from the first film sheds even more light on her heartbreaking fate. Nessarose Throp is introduced as the younger sister of Elphaba, and the daughter of Melena Throp and Frexspar the Godly, the former governor of Munchkinland. In the book, Nessarose is born prematurely and without arms, requiring constant care. The musical adaptation simplifies this by portraying her as paralyzed and reliant on a wheelchair. Her father gives her enchanted silver shoes, which are later transformed into the iconic ruby-red slippers seen in The Wizard of Oz. Nessarose's beauty and her disability initially paint her as a tragic character, but beneath this facade lies a complex and ultimately tragic transformation.
Wait, Glinda.
Don't you dare say another word against her.
From a young age, Nessarose is spoiled compared to Elphaba. Her disability means that her father and their nanny prioritize her needs, putting immense pressure on Elphaba to always put her sister first. Despite this, Elphaba genuinely cares for Nessarose, even if her feelings are sometimes conflicted and strained. The bond between the sisters is evident, but so are the seeds of resentment.
I can't watch.
Nessarose's physical condition, resulting from their mother being forced to consume milk flowers during pregnancy to prevent Elphaba's green skin, leads her to blame Elphaba for circumstances beyond her control. This resentment festers over the years, fueled by their father's own blame of Elphaba, rather than accepting the tragic mistake that led to Nessarose's condition.
Take it away!
When Elphaba and Nessarose arrive at Shiz University, their father demands that Elphaba ensure Nessarose's safety and well-being. This protective nature is evident when Elphaba confronts head Shizstress Miss Coddle, who tries to mistreat Nessarose's wheelchair. Elphaba's powerful reaction using her uncontrollable magic to defend her sister earns her a spot at Shiz, solidifying her role as a protector.
This was my chance, my new start.
I'm sorry, Nessa.
Despite their differences, Elphaba remains devoted to Nessarose, even when tensions rise over Bach's relationship with Glinda. In Wicked for Good, which adapts the second act of the musical, Nessarose's story takes a darker turn. After Elphaba is branded as the Wicked Witch of the West, Nessarose marries Bach and becomes the eminence of Munchkinland following their father's death, which was caused by the fallout of Elphaba's supposed wickedness. Nessarose's marriage to Bach, who secretly loves Glinda, sets the stage for her eventual transformation. Her inability to secure true love and her growing resentment towards Elphaba's magical prowess create a toxic mix of jealousy and bitterness. Elphaba's guilt over her sister's suffering intensifies when she enchants Nessarose's silver shoes, turning them into ruby red and granting Nessarose the ability to walk. This act, intended to give Nessarose independence, inadvertently deepens the rift between them. Nessarose begins to see Elphaba not as a sister, but as someone who could have given her what she truly desires: freedom from her disability and the chance to love freely. Her obsession with Bach, despite knowing his true feelings lie with Glinda, drives her to cast a spell from the Grimoire in a desperate attempt to keep him by her side. Unfortunately, Nessarose's spell goes horribly wrong, causing Bach's heart to shrink and severing his ability to love her. This tragic mistake pushes Nessarose further into darkness. Her inability to accept Bach's true feelings and her desperate need to maintain control over her life and relationships lead her down a path of cruelty and tyranny. She begins to treat Bach not as a husband but as a servant, enforcing her will over the people of Munchkinland with an iron fist. Nessarose's transformation into the Wicked Witch of the East is a culmination of years of accumulated pain, resentment, and unrequited love. Her actions, driven by a desire to protect her sister and herself, result in her becoming the very thing she despises: an oppressor who uses magic to control and manipulate those around her. Her cruelty towards her subjects and her obsession with Bach isolate her from everyone, including Elphaba, further solidifying her descent into wickedness.
Why can't you just tell my sister the truth?
That I don't love her? I don't want to hurt her.
The deleted scene from the first Wicked movie adds a layer of tragic inevitability to Nessarose's story. In this scene, Elphaba and Bach have a heartfelt conversation at the train station before Elphaba's departure to the Emerald City. Elphaba encourages Bach to be honest with Nessarose about his true feelings, knowing that continuing the charade will only lead to more pain. Bach admits that he can't change his feelings for Glinda, and Elphaba acknowledges that Nessarose will be hurt no matter what. This moment highlights Elphaba's awareness of the inevitable heartbreak and her attempts to protect her sister, even if it means revealing a painful truth. This deleted scene underscores the depth of Elphaba's guilt and her protective instincts towards Nessarose. It reveals that Elphaba understands the futility of trying to keep Nessarose in a false sense of happiness and that the truth, while painful, is necessary. This conversation sets the stage for Nessarose's eventual realization of Bach's true feelings, deepening her sense of betrayal and loneliness. When Nessarose discovers that Bach never loved her and that Elphaba knew all along, her heartbreak transforms into rage, pushing her further into darkness. Nessarose's story is a poignant exploration of how love and manipulation can lead to tragedy. Her transformation into the Wicked Witch of the East is not born out of inherent wickedness, but rather from a series of unfortunate events and deeply flawed relationships. Her inability to cope with Bach's rejection and her resentment towards Elphaba's magical abilities drive her to cast a spell that alters her fate irrevocably. In the end, Nessarose becomes a tragic figure, a sister consumed by grief and anger, whose actions result in her downfall and cement her place in the lore of Oz as the Wicked Witch of the East. Her journey serves as a powerful reminder of how external influences, like the pressures of leadership and unrequited love, can distort one's character and lead to devastating consequences. As we look forward to Wicked for Good, Nessarose's transformation adds a rich layer of complexity to the Wicked universe. Her descent into wickedness is not just a plot device, but a deeply human story of love, loss, and the struggle to find one's place in a world filled with magic and deception. Understanding her motivations and the tragic events that lead her to become the Wicked Witch of the East makes her story all the more compelling and heartbreaking. What are your thoughts on Nessarose's transformation? Do you think her descent into wickedness was inevitable given her circumstances? Or could things have turned out differently? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more deep dives into your favorite stories and characters. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.
Yet.
You know what I believe, Vic?
It's Bick. It's Bach.